Oh, hello, this is Tak Chong from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This morning, the land is covered with a light fog, which is very common at this time of the year. So I decided I would go down to the river. I know it's going to be beautiful. And I was not disappointed because the river is shrouded in a light mist. It definitely added a sense of mystery to the river. The river is very shallow now. It is very easy to walk across. It's always amazing how different the river could be in different seasons. When the river is this low, first of all is that the crop is getting ready. And furthermore is that people have a lot of produce from their garden. I love this time of the year because I often receive calls from my neighbor asking me whether I would like to have some of their garden vegetables. So this morning, I was glad to receive a call from my friend Dan. He asked me, would I like to have some green bean? He stopped by, gave me an amazing green bean, and he just picked them from his garden. And the great thing about this green bean is that it has no string. So all I need to do is to cut them into the size how I want to cook them. And I'm going to stir fry them. Cooking green bean could be quite challenging. Because they could be tough, but if they cook correctly, they taste wonderful. At the same time, they could be easily overcooked. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to cook green beans. First by blanching them and then stir fry them. First of all, I'm going to cook them into about bite size. So I'm going to use my Cuisinart 14-inch stainless steel wok to blanch the green beans. Again, this is a demonstration of the versatility of the wok. And this is particularly true if you have a stainless steel wok. Because you can cook almost anything in it without worrying about that in removing the seasoning and result in rusting. There are several interesting things about the green bean that Don gave me. First of all, they grow on the ground rather than on a vine. And secondly is that they have no string. They have a relatively robust texture. So I realized that I probably will not be able to cook them just by stir frying. And the best thing for me to do is to blanch them in advance. So I boiled some water in my Cuisinart 14-inch stainless steel wok. And I blanched them in boiling water until the bean turned a vivid green color. This provides a good indication that the heat has penetrated into the bean. This indicated that they are about 50% cooked. And I'm going to finish cooking the bean in the wok by stir frying. I cooked the beans in boiling water for about 3 minutes. And then I used a strainer to pick them up from the wok. I set them aside and let them to dry. And now, depending on the type of bean that I use, I do not cook all the beans using the same steps. For example, when I cook French beans, I stir fry them directly because they are more tender. Okay, now I'm ready to cook remaining of the ingredients for this dish. Now this dish is a good demonstration of my fast cooking system, how it can adapt to cook various type of food ingredients. In this case, all of them come from either the garden or somebody fished them in a lake. So after remove the green bean, I clean the wok and I season the wok again with my spot seasoning method. The first thing I'm going to cook is some bluegill. I first coated the bluegills with cornstarch and some seasonings, and then I'm going to shallow fry them. These bluegills were given to me by my friend Brett. He caught them in this lake in Iowa. This is the annual fishing trip. He usually goes with his friends and some of his family members. They will go during spring when the fish were spawning. They were able to catch as many as hundreds of fish. I love this bluegill, and he has always been very kind. He would provide me at least about 5 to 10 pounds. I freeze them in the Ziploc sandwich bag, usually about 8-ounce portion. By using this shallow frying method, they are very lightly cooked and extremely flavorful. I use them mainly like a garnish rather than the main ingredients of this dish. I cut them up into small pieces so they can cook rapidly, and this is a great way to cook them. Usually, you can cook the fish in less than 5 minutes. I'm going to set them aside. Now I'm going to cook the green beans and other vegetables. I still have some oil left in the wok from frying the fish, so I'm going to directly cook the green bean vegetable medley. I add about 1 cup of zucchini together with the green bean. Now the zucchini also came from the garden. A question that you might have is that why it is necessary to stir fry the green bean? Why don't we just boil the green bean until they are done? Well, if I mentioned Maillard reaction, you probably know the reason, because frying the green bean in oil would generate better flavor. Next, I add a mixture of bell pepper and jalapeno pepper. They came from the garden of our friends Ryan and Susie. Ryan has probably the most productive garden because he used cow manure to fertilize his garden every year. Ryan is a full-time mechanic for heavy-duty machines, but he also a part-time farmer. In addition to farming, Ryan also keeps cattle, and this is where the manure comes from that he used to fertilize his garden. Right here, you probably wonder what is going on. Why is he using a pair of chopsticks to do stir frying? No, the chopstick actually is used for pick up different ingredients in the wok for taste testing to see whether the texture is about right. To season the dish, I use about 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce. I want to season this dish very lightly because the vegetable in there will provide excellent flavor. Particularly, I have so many different kinds of vegetable in it. And to me, this is the great thing about a vegetable medley because you can provide many different textures and flavor for the dish. Okay, after the taste testing, I decided the texture of all the vegetables is about just right. So the last thing I'm going to add is some tomatoes. These tomatoes came from my wife's vegetable garden. I add them toward the end because I want to cook them very lightly. So the tomato will stay intact. This provides me a much better contrast when I eat a piece of tomato versus the green bean or the zucchini. So with a few quick stir, the dish is done. This dish is very fast to cook. The total cook time is a little bit over 7 minutes. And the texture of the different vegetable in the dish is almost perfect. The green bean is crunchy enough to retain its natural flavor, but it's soft enough when you bite into it. It is very delicious. The timing in cooking the zucchini and the pepper is almost perfect as well. The jalapeno pepper is just enough to give a kick to the dish, but it's not too spicy. However, this is all individual preference. For some people, this might be too hot, but for some other people, this might not be spicy at all. This dish is a good demonstration of my fast cooking system, with flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking. The engine of this cooking system is stir frying, that it is robust enough that you can cook very fast, but it's flexible enough that you can cook many different types of dishes. And with advanced prepping, most of the ingredients that I need is already ready right at my fingertips. And with template-based cooking, I use my basic vegetable stir-fry templates, so I don't need recipes. And this makes home cooking more practical, efficient, creative, and fun. I cook this meal for my wife and I in about 20 minutes from the time I step into the kitchen to the time when the dish is served on the table. And because of this fast cooking system, I'm able to cook every single day I make it into part of my daily routines. It is a cooking system designed for the 21st century. If you enjoyed this video and would like to learn more about my fast cooking system, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.